We are rolling.
Well, we're almost arguing, everybody. We are happy to announce today, as of this moment, at 8:32 p.m., we are collectively here at Rob Loves Arguing, and the Rob Loves Arguing production team are entering a hostile bid of our own to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. We are playing it Price is Right style. We are coming in at the offer that Paramount offered, cash plus $1. And we think that should satisfy the stockholders over at Warner Brothers Discovery as we watch the Succession. Like, isn't it bad that basically we don't have any TV shows good enough? Give it up for the anchor, Daniel Sanker, everybody, in the building.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. They're clapping at home.
Yeah.
They're clapping at home. You're welcome.
It's interesting that we now, in lieu of having good TV or films, we are now just trying to enjoy watching the TV and films try to destroy each other. Like, the entertainment now, this is why pro wrestling is very important, and we're gearing up a lot of high technology things in the background as we prepare to take over one of the legacy media companies in North America. TV and film is so bad now, and this is something that they're stealing from pro wrestling, is that at one point, pro wrestling, the problem, and wrestling is always at the forefront of these things, it has to constantly change the game it's playing with the audience. Once people will still sometimes go like, don't you know wrestling's fake? And it's like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, bitch, you're so far behind. Like, you're retarded for saying that at this point. That even thinking that's like, wrestling has switched how they trick you so many times now, that so much of the entertainment that is derived from wrestling is derived from, like, the business behind it. Oh, this company's fighting this company, and even in this Netflix, Paramount, Warner Brothers thing, there is a lot of wrestling intrigue in the entire thing. And so what this little trick is that instead of producing
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Instead of producing a good product, they're going, hey, isn't it interesting that remember Succession? Remember how good Succession was? Now we're doing Succession, but instead of it being a TV show we produce and write carefully and cast and develop, we're just actually going to fight each other for everyone's amusement and see who gets to decide the fate of entertainment forever. So, what's your understanding right now of this, Anchor?
Oh shit.
Whose side are you on? Are you on Team Paramount? Warner Brothers seems to be pretty much dead. And then there'll be either Paramount or Netflix is going to come out on top of this.
I mean, I don't even have Paramount, so I guess I'm Team Netflix.
I'm not even 100% sure Paramount's available in Canada.
I'm not sure either. It seems confusing.
No, it is. It is.
It is?
Yeah. I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs, and there's an app that is on a lot of Canadian Roku. So I believe that Paramount is available in Canada. Let me break it down. Well, let's make the teams a little clearer for everybody. Let's go into who these teams are exactly. I think everyone's pretty familiar with Netflix, Ted Sarandis or whatever, the head of Netflix. Round of applause for Netflix, everybody. Come a long way, baby. From they used to mail you DVDs.
I know. Is that fucking insane?
It is pretty wild how far that's come. That sounded like one of the single stupidest ideas I've ever heard. And somehow we've come this far. Like, I'm going to mail you DVDs sounds so absolutely retarded.
It seemed like a step back.
You're
at
like,
the time.
we have places you could walk into and just grab them. But yes, it seemed like a massive step backwards. And then somehow, well, my weed dealer in New York would have you believe that the CIA is actually funding Netflix. Which, listen, I've had a drug dealer in New York tell me it was that Netflix is actually the CIA. And I have had, there was a stockbroker who used to be a happy hour drunk at a bar I bartended at in Chicago. And he said he would short Netflix if he was shorting things because Netflix was like constantly taking these massive losses. I think I might have brought it up in the AI episode of shorting things and whatever, and sometimes things just don't whatever. So that's Team Netflix. We understand the idea is they were trying to acquire Warner Brothers because they would like you to never leave your house again. Their team, let's never again leave the house. We can just go ahead and consume everything right here in the comfort of your home. We will Uber Eats your food to you. You will watch Batman starring whoever, Malcolm Jamal Warner, whoever the fuck is the next Batman.
He's dead.
So yeah, why did he die swimming?
Yes.
So I'm not being racist.
No,
Sick.
but I think there's a heroic element. I think he was like saving his daughter.
Yeah, he was a black guy trying to swim. Let's call it pretty heroic. Yeah. But anyways, okay, good. Sick. Isn't it nice when you think a black guy died swimming and he did, you know?
When you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I would just, if you want to word it less racist, you'd just say, it's nice when you're right.
Sure.
Regardless
Yeah.
of what implications.
I'm pretty into specificity.
Uh-huh.
That's Malcolm Jamal Warner and was it Shad Gaspard of Crime Time? Not to bring it back to wrestling again, but a WWE tag team Crime Time. Crime spelled with a Y.
I remember Crime Time.
Either Shad or JTG.
Yeah.
Died also similarly heroic black swimming death.
Really? Well, there's a taller one and the shorter one.
I think it was Shad Gaspard, the taller one.
That was the taller one.
Yeah. And also Obama's gay lover chef also died swimming heroically.
He's less famous. I don't know him.
Oh, it depends what you consider famous. Anyways, so if you want to watch a new Batman, Netflix would like you to do that at home by yourself or with possibly a loved one of whatever nondescript gender, and Paramount would like it if you watched the movie in Tel Aviv. They have two different philosophies. One of them would like you to watch it at home, probably in the tunnels that we bring up pretty regularly. So you'll be living in a tunnel and you'll be watching Netflix, and they'll drop. Uber will actually just be. There will be Uber tunnels that they build into our sub-basement apartments, that the Uber driver doesn't have to come all the way down into the sub-basement living, like the downstairs apartments that we'll be living in soon, that go down into the ground. They'll just drop it to a tunnel thing that shoots right to your apartment, like a dummy waiter. We're going to go back to dummy waiters. But anyways, that's what Netflix would like. And Paramount, owned by Larry Ellison, the Joseph Goebbels of the Israeli administration. He's the one. They're the ones who just bought CBS and put Barry Weiss in charge of it to make sure that everybody knows that those dead Gazan kids had it coming. You know, Barry Weiss is officially in charge of making sure the news knows that Gazan kids all had bombs strapped to them, and that's why they blew up. But that's Paramount. Larry Ellison. Big Trump person, and Trump's weighed in on this. Talking about how it might be a little monopolistic if Netflix gets that piece of the pie, gets that little bit of the Warner Brothers, whatever. Because look up some of what is Warner Brothers besides Batman? It's got Batman and Harry Potter. What else are we fighting over?
So it's more their old shit that's thing. Because I remember one year for my mom's birthday, I bought her. This is when Blu-ray mattered. A beautiful 50 movie collection of the greatest Warner Brother movies ever.
Sure.
And it's fan-fucking-tastic for the old years.
Okay.
I think of recent, I'll look it up, but I feel like we're not gonna fucking. There's nothing.
Well, and so apparently part of the deal is they're gonna have to split off a lot of the Warner Brothers Discovery channels. They're not going to be allowed to absorb the TV channels for some reason. It would be mostly the back catalog, but it is about movies coming out going forward. But yes, I see over your shoulder there some Batman. What else we got?
Yeah, so Warner Brothers has a deep. I know this is a nerd. Has a deep connection to DC Comics.
Sure.
So I'm assuming there's like a lot,
And with James Gunn running the franchise, that's that's going to rejuvenate the franchise quite a bit. Like, doesn't James Gunn in charge of the entire DC universe now?
Yes, the live action movies.
Yeah.
If you're a big nerd fan, you wish they would give it to what the fuck is the guy's name? There's a guy who does all the animated movies.
Something Chinese.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right,
No,
just checking.
It's Tim something.
Chung Ching Chung.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know how. It might be close.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's kind of the battle. That's Wages of War. Because here's the problem for Netflix. Netflix has not done a good job creating brandable IP. You know what I'm saying? Like, what shows do you associate from Netflix?
Like Bruce Timm, that was his name. Made by Netflix?
Yeah. Netflix originals.
Shows,
yeah.
Famously, they're either bad or Netflix has a problem with giving up on them after like one season. So
Stranger Things, I think we can obviously is probably its biggest
the one
powers.
guy? He's not a pedophile, but he is a pedophile, but we're not sure.
House of Cards?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
That was their big one.
I think we're pretty conclusive that he's...
That he is?
Yeah, well, I mean...
hemophile.
Yes, if we want to be... yes, I think as Milo Yiannopoulos explained, he has helped some young men on their journey into gaydom.
Milo did too, right?
Yeah, that was what actually got Milo canceled. I think we talked about this on the Ring Landscape, is his proclamation that the church has always been a haven for gay men, because when you couldn't be gay, you would... when you couldn't openly be gay, you'd go to the church because you could be married to God. Nobody would ask you why you don't like fucking ladies.
Fair enough.
And you were kind of in the clear. But then you got all these tasty little fucking choir boys around, right? And some of those choir boys might be also joining the choir because they might be little flamers themselves, right? And so they might get a taste. And that's why the gay church has this pedophilia problem or whatever. And that is common in the gay community that an older gentleman teach a young whatever. And some people would say that's why they became gay, and some people would say that's just part of being gay. And some would say it's wrong and it doesn't happen, but those people are probably living in an imaginary world for the most part. But anywho, yeah, what was the fucking point? Larry Ellison's gay? No,
we were talking about Warner Brothers and their catalog and what they're actually getting.
Yeah, so they're gonna get it, but it's not so much about the catalog. Because listen, if Netflix wants, they can just put the catalog on things going forward. But it's about creating, even Stranger Things. There's no Stranger Things amusement park. There's no Stranger Things. Harry Potter has a spin-off of things. There's just more IP management going on with other companies that Netflix doesn't get into, that I think they're thinking Warner Brothers is going to help them with, and also that whole stay living in your tunnel project that they're doing. So the battle is essentially, do we leave our house, presumably to go to Israel and watch a film, or do we stay in our homes and watch them in the tunnels? This is the kind of the Palestine and Gaza, like this is sort of the Israel-Palestine of major billion-dollar entertainment.
I have my reasons for I would actually, the more I think about it, side with Netflix.
Because you, from the river to the sea for Netflix. Go ahead.
Well, it's because I actually watched a video on like what happened to streaming and why we have so many fucking platforms and stuff. And I'll be fair to Netflix. They may have changed their mind now, but Netflix would have been perfectly happy to rent these IPs from these companies to put on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
The companies get paid, similar to the way a comedy special works still. Hey, I'll pay you to put this on my platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these other companies, like Paramount, like fucking Peacock, and that bullshit,
Yeah.
they were like, we could have our own streaming service and, cut you out. And it's like, nobody wants to fucking own 6 streaming services. And it was working better when they just leased their stuff to Netflix.
There's no doubt about that, certainly. But everyone wants their piece of the pie. And then they all wasted. This is the same thing as AI. Again, this is why I get short AI. It's the same bullshit. Look at how many of these places wasted their money. How many NBC fucking apps have there been so far? There was...
It's terrible. NBC's the fucking worst. They make me mad.
So there was CISO, which that was NBC.
I remember that.
CISO was an NBC one. I remember specifically because Big J's What's Your Fucking Deal show got put on it. A bunch of other comedy vehicles. But it had another one after, then Peacock. NBC's gone through at least 3 of these motherfuckers. They just bury money down in this. So, anyways, it'll be interesting to see who wins this. Ultimately, to see who gets... I guess Netflix then would get all the HBO specials. Unless Correct. HBO gets splintered off because it's a channel. I'm not entirely clear on how that will work. For things ultimately, what happens to HBO Max? I'm assuming that goes away.
Yeah, I have read online they are getting HBO stuff,
so they're going to get the HBO catalog.
Yeah, unless the article was wrong.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Which is great. Listen, that literally just... Okay, so Crave TV's dead in Canada.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's over with. That's going to super negatively impact Hulu, because I believe Hulu would be... I know there is HBO Max, but I believe that Hulu has been allowed to license HBO products. Last I was allowed to step foot in America, that was the case. Mm. So, yeah, it's gonna... It would hurt a lot of other streamers, which is kind of the goal. I mean, the idea they're only going to release movies to theaters for a couple weeks, good. So that would be... The idea, right, is that then they would just release movies on super limited short runs so that they're not technically national theatrical releases or some shit. Mm-hmm. And then they would still be allowed to, at Paradise Theater up on Bloor, they would have a Netflix premieres and nobody would show up or give any fuck whatsoever. But if it was Batman, then yeah, obviously people would care all of a sudden. I kind of like the idea. Maybe it's time to make movies events again. That. What?
I missed that.
Because, think how much... Okay, so how much garbage just goes out into Netflix on a regular basis, right? Well, why not let the garbage go to the fucking movie theaters for a minute?
Yeah.
And if there was constant turnovers at the movies... Okay, so maybe only one theater worth of 1 week of people will give a fuck about... Here, let's go scroll through Netflix for a second. And we're going to play how many tickets can this movie sell in a market for how long.
I have it on here.
No, here, I can pull it up. I got it on my phone real quick. We'll go through... Okay, so let's see what is going on. Well, I mean, I feel like if they put the Sean Combs... The Reckoning documentary in theaters for 2 weeks. You don't think that those theaters would be pretty full for 2 weeks?
Probably. I have no idea anymore.
I think I would like to go watch that with a group of people.
Yeah, for sure.
That seems like that would be fun with people watching. Now, okay, by the way, Netflix should just get into having these fucking movie theaters. If they really want to take this over, how many of these dead movie theaters exist? Why doesn't Netflix just go ahead and buy them?
Cineplex, you could be...
Yeah, this is there's... Every city has got 2 or 3. Every major city has 2 or 3 empty movie theaters right now. Netflix. Why do you not just go in, show your Netflix on a large screen with people for 2 weeks? You can rejuvenate that culture. Like, you don't have to be afraid of that culture. Go buy it. They're doing the opposite thing to you. They're going, okay, and this literally is secession. Because Paramount is being the old, stodgy media. We're getting taken over by new media, so let's just buy a bunch of shit and make ourselves too big to defeat, and then maybe we can, like, stave off the tide, and we'll get enough in licensing and other bullshit that we can survive. That's the game plan they're going for. So, like, Netflix, go the other way. They're trying to save all these. Go buy the movie theaters at fucking 48 cents on the dollar right now. Who's going to buy them? So go in, take this capital, and buy the fucking theaters. And then that's how you get, like, it's just a silly way, I think. They're missing the point of the IP. Like, it is what's incredible about, like, technology, like, these tech people, is that, like, they really actually think that we don't want to be around each other. Yeah. Like, they've bought into their own autistic worldview so heavily that they, like, don't think that the average human being likes communal interactions. Where it's like, why is the comedy dead? Well, because it's on Netflix. Like, why isn't there classic comedies? Because we're not experiencing them with each other anymore. Like, there might actually be some really good comedies that are sitting there on the shelf that you're not registering as that good. Like, I remember this was, like, a big thing. Remember when North Korea, like, threatened the fucking Seth Rogen movie?
Yeah.
The program
interview?
Or the...
The interview.
The interview, thank you. At the program, the fucking... the 80s high school football movie drama. The interview. And I remember they went, okay, we're just going to let everyone buy this at home and then just to be safe or whatever, which, by the way, ridiculous. Whoever fucking torpedoed that, whatever, that person was a genius. Whoever got away with North Korea is going to attack the movie. That's craziness. We got to do a whole fucking episode on that someday. That's nuts that we all believe that.
Yeah.
And that would be better than the movie would be the documentary on how nuts it is that we all believed North Korea was going to attack a Seth Rogen film. Like, anyways. They said specifically when that came out streaming, Seth Rogen was like, please, invite some friends over. Like, watch this with people.
Yeah.
And now they're not even, like, telling you that anymore. They're just going, Adam Sandler, thanks for the check. We'll put it right into whatever. How many of those Adam Sandler movies would have been actually way more well received if they were seen in a movie theater?
I've seen stuff in the movie theater that I thought I liked, and then I watched it like 2 years later, like just on the TV, and I'm like, oh, this is just okay.
It's a different experience.
Yeah.
I think Billy Madison 2, yes, Billy Madison 2, Happy Gilmore 2, that's why I said it wrong. Happy Gilmore 2 would have been way better received had it been in a movie theater, because the cameos pop. It's wrestling. Again, everything's wrestling. You get it's that. Oh, remember? You're reliving this with a bunch of people. When you're doing that alone in your bedroom by yourself, that's a very empty feeling, you know? So, Netflix, you're missing this. Go buy the movie theaters. Like, that's the answer to it. Short event movies. You're producing the most unbelievable pile of shit that's ever existed. But you've done the math. Somebody wants to watch The Beast in Me.
Hubie Halloween.
Sure. There is an audience for Daddy's Home 2. Right? Maybe Daddy's Home 2. It looks like, based on the sweaters, it's possibly a seasonal film. Starring, is that Will Ferrell in this movie?
What was it called? Daddy's Home?
Jesus Christ, Daddy's Home?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a classic movie about a stepfather, real father situation. It's the original has him and Mark Wahlberg. He marries Mark Wahlberg's ex, and is like a dad to the Mark Wahlberg's son. This one, Daddy's Home 2, actually adds Mel Gibson and John Lithgow to the cast.
Fuck yeah, they put Mel Gibson in it?
Yes.
Now I want to watch this. Is it a Christmas movie?
I don't remember if it occurs during Christmas. It might.
It's just it has a green and red sweater. The point being, there's a film on Netflix right now that has Jonathan Lithgow, pretty awesome fucking actor. Mel Gibson, pretty awesome dude all around. And Will Ferrell, and I don't know what it is, put the movie in the theater for a minute. For a minute, this movie may have been in theaters, and I ignored it completely. But
it's not important. It's the point.
The point is, you put the movies in the theater. You fine, make us the deal. They can only be there for 2 weeks, so that means when you put out your big dumb DC movie, everyone get out of the way. There should be nothing else. Like, let the other theaters that you don't own put the you own the movies on. But you just go, all of our theaters are playing fucking Sandra Day O'Connor as Batman. from the heat in the heat of the night or whatever.
It's a nostalgia play if they never made that.
So Sandra Day O'Connor, who I should also, if Sandra Day O'Connor didn't also die swimming heroically, I'll eat my shoe. But put him in as Batman and put that in every theater that you own, which could be a lot of them. You should have at least one Netflix theater in every major city, if not multiples. Like in Toronto, they should have one of these. They can't fucking grab either Scotiabank or the Young Dundas. Get one up for the Jews in Richmond Hill, Thornhill area. Go to Scarborough. Get one for black people and brown people over there. Do a Mississauga one, a Brampton one. Do Bollywood shit up there. Like, be smart about it. The fucking Woodbine Mall. Go take the fucking movie theater over in there and make the amusement park in Woodbine Mall Stranger Things amusement park. Why am I not in charge of one of these companies? That's why we put in the hostile bid to take over Warner Brothers, is because I would more properly use these IPs than other words. But that's my call. I did way more time on that than I wanted to.
I love it. I love Moby Talk.
Listen, this shit's. It's important to watch these things with other people. Like, I would, and go make it fucking. These movie theaters cost nothing. If you own the content, what is it? It's 4 trans teenagers you got to pay to run the place. Like, what is the cost?
You think Netflix ever gets into podcasting?
Well, I mean, they've had Kill Tony.
Right, so arguably. But, like, just one where it's just 2 people talking.
I don't see why not. Right, because you got to think, what do these streaming companies value? They look at things as stream time.
Yeah.
That's what they sell now. So if an episode of Joe Rogan streams for 3-4 hours, that's a really valuable product. That's why they love Monday Night Raw. That's 3 hours every week that they're getting people to watch.
Right.
Sports is the next frontier, but...
Yeah, and if they have, like, a YouTube setup where it's like... I don't even, like, when I listen to a podcast, now I just look it up on YouTube and then close my phone and it switches it to audio mode.
Yes.
And I just listen. So if they have something like that...
Yeah, the Netflix, and also, isn't Netflix doing this thing where if you have your laptop plugged into a TV, it's like censoring its ability to be played on the TV now?
I'm not sure.
It's doing something fucking funky with that. I'll get to that in another episode when somebody explains to me what it is. I'm trying to look at what more of these Netflix shows, like, is there a section for originals?
Well, while you look that up, just a dark answer to your question. Sandra Day O'Connor died of horrible dementia.
Horrible? Is that the actual definition of that?
Well, they use the word advanced dementia.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I really love it. They were just horrible, but whatever the Adonis is, put that in the theater. Put Stranger Things in a fucking theater. Like, anyways, Netflix, don't be stupid. Teddy, baby, talk to me. And this podcast is huge, so everyone's going to know this is my idea. You can't just steal it from me.
They probably could make a fucking buttload of money if they did Stranger Things. It's the last season, it's a big deal. The last episode, 2-hour special, which they used to do in shows all the time, but they put it in theaters. And yeah, you can watch it eventually like a month later, but if you want to watch it on time, go to the theaters.
People
$20 a pop.
want that. One of my favorite movie experiences in my entire life was seeing Freddy versus Jason
Oh!
opening night,
Holy
Friday
shit.
the 13th. Such a fun atmosphere. And the movie knew. If you go back and watch Freddy versus Jason, the Jason's first kill has an encore. So, because they know that there is a tradition, people go to, Fridays to watch Jason kills.
Yeah.
And so the first kill, they're in the bed, the couple's fucking, and so he stabs through the guy through the bed, and everyone starts getting in the theater, starts applauding, right? That's the first kill from Jason. We're all excited. And as the applause going on, he takes both ends of the bed, folds the person in half, and the place erupts. Because it was like the movie knew what the live experience was supposed to be. Like it was playing to the room. And like now, sure, you might in your living room go, oh, but like it's not the same as like a room full of people. Paranormal Activity, like going and watching that in a theater full of people and feeling the collective tension of people in a room. Like we do feel each other. It's important. Like, I don't know. Anyways. And a part of it growing up as a kid and developing a sense of humor is seeing comedy collectively with other people. How many jokes did you hear adults laugh at or hear other kids or maybe older than you kids laugh at that you maybe didn't fully get, that you knew, okay, there's something funny there, and learned about it because it was something inappropriate you didn't understand. Other people guided you to that. Now if you're just in your room, you're not going to get that. Some kid watching Netflix in his room alone is not going to develop a sense of humor watching comedy anymore because it's just not how, and that's why the specials are, the amount of specials, and we're going to get into Billboard has decided to put out their list of the 25 top stand-up comedians of the century, which we're going to dig into a little bit. But before we get into this, and I think this list is going to highlight this, is a little state of the industry address when it comes to stand-up in particular in our business, is that people call this a boom. And even if they say we're on the tail end of a boom, I think people are talking about stand-up numbers being down and stuff. But we experienced a pretty massive wave after COVID of sales going up, a couple new arena acts, things like that. The problem is that it's derived almost nothing from stand-up comedy anymore. Like, and I know this is kind of an old talking point, but I think that it's spiraled to a point now where it's worth looking at again. Because, like, in your head, a lot of the people that we like are on top currently. So that kind of gives you this idea that maybe there's been a correction in the marketplace. Like, ooh, the Rogan camp and the Austin guys and whatever are doing so well that, like, people give a shit about stand-up again. But ultimately, what was the last classic stand-up comedy special that's been produced?
If you're talking classic in that it got around a lot, that's tough. That's tough.
Listen, Shane is an unbelievable stand-up.
Yeah.
I think Austin is better than Beautiful Dogs, even though I think Beautiful Dogs is a great time. It's a very enjoyable stand-up special. I don't know if I would call it a classic stand-up special.
That's the thing.
Austin, I think, is a borderline classic. But that might be just grading on the curve of what we're kind of getting right now. Like, we are not getting classic stand-up comedy specials because, one, I think that the Louis C.K. model turnover time, and it's interesting to see Louis abandon his own model now. And you could go, oh, well, he's not in the limelight anymore and he's not whatever, but that's almost more of a reason to overproduce stand-up, Because, like, if you can't do the TV show, you can't, like, you don't think Louis C.K. has more time to dedicate to stand-up comedy right now than he ever has in the entirety of his fame, Like, he's got way more time. He doesn't have a TV show. He's not a writer on anything. He's not, Like, he doesn't get to do big projects anymore. So he should have way more time to produce an hour of stand-up every year, like he used to. But I think that even he probably would tell you that that model, one, was able to happen because Louis remained unfamous for like 20 years.
Right.
And then popped, and then had backlogs of material that he could freshen up and bring back on the road and B-sides and whatever. But also just that, like, that doesn't work forever. And that has a diminishing returns on it. I think the biggest problem we have in stand-up comedy is that it used to be some of the people on this list, when they put out a bit on a topic, that topic was now dead.
Right.
You used to want to have the last bit on a subject. And now it's about having the first bit on a subject. I need to get my content out before anybody else, so I have the first take on X, Y, and Z. When it's like, it's not really supposed to be about that. We're not supposed to comment on the thing. We're supposed to comment on society's reaction to the thing. Like, we're not, as comedians, really experts on, like, defense and immigration and, fiscal budgets and all these things that, like, now it's, like, for some reason our job to weigh in on. And I don't think that we shouldn't have a voice in the cultural conversation towards those things. I think that's kind of the point of comedy. Except we're supposed to be judging the people, like the normal people, and how they react to things. It's kind of silly and pointless for a comedian to constantly be talking about the president. It's kind of more useful if we're talking about how we all behaved and reacted during a presidency. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think that there's been a real problem, and part of that is because we're just racing to get this stuff out. How long after Monica Lewinsky did Chris Rock talk about Monica Lewinsky, and then it was done? It was over. He handled that from every angle. We don't need to talk about this anymore. And there isn't a definitive COVID bit. The biggest thing that we will go through in our lives, 9/11 as well, I would argue, was pretty up there. But regardless, what's the COVID bit? What's the bit that somebody put out that brought us all, like, there was partisan shit that made people careers on one side or the other. Anti-vaxxers are dumb. Hey, masks people are dumb. And they got splintered off into their own thing, and people who enjoyed them enjoyed what they were saying. But there's no bit that's like, oh, damn, man. There's no $5,000 bullet bit for COVID, Anyways, I would like to go through this list, and I think it'll be very clear about the lack of classic stand-up specials for, like, quite some time. Like, I remember a few years ago, we had White Precious, Elephant in the Room, and Norm Macdonald's myself doing stand-up, I think.
I think that's
whatever
either
name.
one. The one where he talks about having a heart attack, your heart attacking you.
Yes,
yeah,
the one where he started telling us about his death without us knowing. Yeah, the one where he let us know what is on his mind constantly, which is the grim,
death.
Yes, lure of death. Anyways, let's start at 25.
So this is I already have my comments, but
Jon Stewart. At number 25. I will say this from a person who, in a historical context, thinks that Jon Stewart might be the most important comedian who's ever lived. I think Rogan is pushing up against that, and I know that's going to sound very stupid to a lot of people, but if you actually look at just cultural impact, more people got their news from Jon Stewart than, like, anything else at a certain age bracket. That's pretty important. The amount of influence Joe Rogan has now is pretty important. So I think he's a very important comedian. Has Jon Stewart done stand-up since the year 2000 that wasn't for a 9/11 firefighter?
So here's the thing, is that there's this problem, and I heard on O&A once, Colin Quinn talk about this. The word comedian, this list seems to be a stand-up thing, but sometimes people just look at it as funny person. Like, Will Ferrell is on the list of greatest comedians ever on some lists, right?
Sure.
But he's not a stand-up.
At all.
To this, if you read this, is clearly stand-up, which then becomes... I love Jon Stewart, but I saw this and I'm like, yeah, but he's not known for his stand-up anymore.
And like, truthfully, like, was never that famous as a stand-up.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen some of his bits. He had some good ones.
Not to say he wasn't a good stand-up, because that's how it worked then. You had to be a good stand-up, and then you got the things that made you famous. But in the year 2000 and on, like, he was already on the... 2000... he was already on The Daily Show. Like,
yeah.
Anyways, we can get to 24. Yeah. He just shouldn't be on the list.
Yeah.
Because he's not known for stand-up.
Yeah.
Billy Connolly, I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I like him. I think this is kind of a hipstery throwout.
And it's just like, you have to give a nod to the UK in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, honestly, you could probably argue Jim Jeffries, even though he's Australian, deserves to be on this list. Just due to actual stand-up output. Jim Jeffries actually probably is an unfair admission from this.
Yeah.
I also... It shows that if they wanted to just get UK representation, that they didn't do their homework, because why can't I think of his fucking name right now? The guy that doesn't fucking put out specials. I quote this guy, this thing all the time.
Bobby Lee?
No, not Bobby Lee. No. He just can't put out a special.
No. It's coming out. So if you listen to his podcast.
On what?
Probably YouTube.
Okay, hold on. Who is this very successful UK comedian that doesn't tape any of his shit and he just does live? Hold on, I'm asking ChatGPT. That wasn't just me talking to you really weird.
Yeah.
It's gonna really bother me when
Lee Evans.
No, it's not Lee Evans. It's not Stuart Lee either. Fucking goddamn it.
I'm gonna type in British.
Anyways, the point is that it's that guy. They all think that he's like the best one.
It's not Jimmy Carr.
No,
he comes out with specials. Obviously not Ricky Gervais. He's like, Eddie Izzard.
No, hold on. Give me like the 20 most famous UK stand-ups ever.
I'm just gonna run through this list right now.
Yeah, sure.
Jimmy Carr, Billy Connolly, Peter Cav, Ricky Gervais, Michael McIntyre, Sarah McLachlan, Milliken, Sean Locke, Frankie Boyle, James Acaster, Eddie Izzard, Alan Carr, Jack Whitehall, Bill Bailey, Rowan Atkinson, Kevin Bridges, Stuart Lee, Nish Kumar, Frank Skinner, Alan Davies, Daniel Sloss, Greg Davies, John Richardson, Rob Brydon, Russell Howard, Sacha Baron Cohen, John Bishop, Gina Yashere.
Shout out Gina.
Yeah, I would even almost put Stephen Fry. I thought that might have been Lee Mack, Phil Wang, Simon Amstel, John Cleese. Some of these are like...
It's getting pretty embarrassing at this point that this name is still not... I have no idea why this name completely escapes me. Fuck. Well, anyways, it should have been him. Anyways, we can go to the next one.
Should have been the unnamed person. Yeah. Let's go. Okay.
Trevor fucking Noah. I mean, listen, you can make an argument.
This is a reminder as you go through this. This is of this current century.
Yes.
You do have to forget there was a time period where he was popular on The Daily Show. He came out with a couple specials in a row and a book. So if you look
and
at
he was a popular stand-up before getting The Daily Show. Like,
yes.
You know, he would do JFL tours long before. He is getting a little extra push, though, from The Daily Show. I'm not, like, aggrieved that he's put on this list, but it also feels fringy. Again, I would have Jim Jeffries above him in this, and I'm sure other people that aren't on the list that I can't think of right now, but that's fine. We can go past Trevor Noah. Unless you have something to add.
Well, it's just, I guess I'll say this opinion so they can skip through it and I don't have to say it again for the rest of the list. There's a lot of people on this list that I like their stand-up. I don't have an issue with them. But this is the top 25 in essentially the last 25 years. some of these people should not be on this list as much as I like them.
Yeah. You know what? I just thought of another. Ron White is a crazy omission from this list.
Yeah, he's a little more tenured and.
Well, and just again, I think it's just this should be people who are known specifically for their stand-up. I think the next two kind of prove the, if I remember correctly, where they are.
Yeah.
So Jim Gaffigan too low.
Yes, but either way, no question he should be on this list.
Absolutely,
especially the years we're talking about.
If you look at the bill, and it's actually surprising that this is a Billboard list and he is where he is, because if you look at the Billboard charts for stand-up comedy at almost any given time, Jim Gaffigan will have like 5 of the top albums.
Yep.
So like it seems strange that he's this low, and I actually think that even just on a 1x1, he should be reversed with the next stand-up, who's a big touring act, comparable size ticket seller, but I think just doesn't have the legacy of specials the same way as him, which is Fluffy is next, correct?
I believe so, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to get to your graph.
Oh, yes, sorry. I forgot. So, okay. I would flip Fluffy and Jim Gaffigan. I think Gaffigan's got to be at least 21. Fluffy's impact, whatever. But I think it like the Gaffigan thing, people talk all the time and they talk about Rogan's influence and Jon Stewart's influence. I think that's like the height of influence. And I hope you'll pull this graph up on the pod so people can enjoy this. But I started thinking about this afternoon when I was talking about this, that if comedy has such a large impact, I was like, what was the impact of Jim Gaffigan's Hot Pocket bit on Hot Pockets, right? And so I did some Chat GPT work, and I tried to have Chat GPT pull up for me a sort of pre and post Hot Pockets bit graph on. So unfortunately, it just showed me post Hot Pockets. It didn't show me anything pre Hot Pockets. Apparently, this data is pretty hard to find. But what I did love is that what you can see is after Hot Pockets, and we'll see if this works okay for a bit here. What you can see is after Hot Pockets, the bit comes out in 2002. Pretty stagnant line of things right across to 2024. So I'll tell you some of the key events here at Hot Pockets. Jim Gaff, and now by the way, just to be clear, ChatGPT has not included any other additional numbers. There's just the year and a series of X's here, if you're not seeing that well. So I have absolutely no idea what these X's represent, if anything at all. And this is why we all need to be shorting AI, because it's never going to replace us. It's nearly useless. In 2010, they reported $610 million in sales. In 2014, reports of significant monthly sales. So that's exciting. In 2021, the USDA recalled them for glass and plastic fragments.
Delicious.
And as you can see, it seems to have not affected the sales whatsoever. According to this ChatGPT graph, people were unfazed by the glass and plastic fragments in the Hot Pockets. They seem to enjoy that. And as of 2024, I am told they have removed the classic sleeve. The Hot Pockets no longer come with the sleeve anymore. They said that this was a new environmental initiative and not simply to save 3 cents on the sleeve. But they removed that, and there's apparently been a lot of negative backlash about that. From what I've read, very little about the glass fragments. It seems like that's not a ton of hoopla, but people are pretty upset about the cardboard sleeve being gone. So anyways, I think as an argument can be made, if you look at the sales of Hot Pockets, that stand-up comedy really has very little influence on much. I mean, could he have made the Hot Pocket sound less appealing?
Oh, in his bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Maybe this is skinny person versus fat person logic. I remember that bit. I loved that bit. It made me want Hot Pockets more.
There's an argument to be made that there's almost a like Stanley Kubrick when you like when a Platoon or Heavy Metal Jacket come out, that enlistment goes up.
Yeah.
They say that like gory war films cause enlistment to go up. Maybe that caused people to buy more Hot Pockets. Another business idea I had while thinking about the Hot Pockets thing. He says at one point in the bit that nobody goes to a restaurant and orders a Hot Pocket. I think Hot Pockets, to rejuvenate the brand, and maybe they could do something with Netflix on this as Netflix acquires the movie theaters. You do Hot Pockets pop-ups or permanent stores, but they should find little windows and do little downtown and like drunk areas, little Hot Pocket pop-ups and they should look like the box. Like you should be like walking up to a box of Hot Pockets and you can order from and they should do it like Crumble Cookies do. They should have like a Hot Pocket of the month and like a reward system that the more Hot Pockets you buy, like you're rewarded or whatever. That's a great plan. But anyways, comedy's useless is the point because he did not defeat Hot Pockets. So all right, let's get to number 20.
It's I don't even remember now. Oh,
Sarah Silverman. Listen, this is fine. We all have to understand that we're going to have to do this with a broad curve. Like, you can't just...
broad.
You know what I mean? Like, that's that's like, you can't... You're going to have to just give girls a little pat in the back and say, good for you, girl.
I know.
Like, way to get them, you know?
But anybody name her special. And I like her. But name her... This is similar
She had the one in the 2000s that was good. I can't name it, but there was the one that was good.
And I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying this is the top 25 since the year 2000. And you can't name it. I can't name it. And I would also say other very popular female comedians would not name it.
Okay, here's would be my argument.
Yeah.
I believe Woody Allen is one of the great stand-up comedians of all time.
Okay. All right.
He put out 2 albums, I believe, and they were both considered classics, and he dipped and moved on to other things. And I think there is something to be said about the ability that, it's not just about volume and continually doing it. If she did a great special in the 2000s and then left and went on to other things off the strength of that special, she can be considered. Is she bigger than Jim? No. Is she bigger than Fluffy? No. But she has a vagina, and that has to count for something.
I'll quote Norm Macdonald. Who's funnier than Sarah Silverman? Besides any other male comedian.
And also, we are saying the biggest, and is she known for stand-up, she did fuck a lot of great stand-up comedians.
And I don't want to be I'm not the anti-woman. I think there's other women, which I do think one of them comes on this list that I just think is more,
Sure. Well, I think the next one is more deserving based on stand-up alone. I believe the next one would be Ali Wong at number 19. And I'll say this because Ali Wong is known completely for stand-up comedy.
Sure.
The same as the Jim Gaffigan. I think you can put her very clearly in that Jim Gaffigan, Sebastian Maniscalco, sort of whatever class. Sebastian sells more tickets than those guys. But Fluffy. I think with Fluffy, Gaffigan,
it's just
and her.
Yeah.
That's a good pooling. She has the same body type as Gaffigan and Fluffy. When she's pregnant. Yeah. So, in all of her specials. That makes sense. Sarah should have went below them.
Yeah.
Jim Jeffries should be on that list. That British comedian that I can't think of his name still should be on it instead of Billy Connolly. And then otherwise, that's pretty all right. Let's go to the next. Not a lot to say about Ali Wong.
Okay.
Sure.
Yep, of course.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't necessarily even argue that it needs to be much higher. A classic special. We know he's a great stand-up comic, but the body of work didn't come out that much. There is a lot of personality this is kind of there is some cult of personality pick here too.
Yeah.
So like you got to be fair. Whereas a lot of people might be inclined to go, oh, he was way better than some people above him. It doesn't matter. His impact, this feels right. And truthfully, like, you do have to throw some of the commercialness out with this too. Commercial success, touring success should matter, but critical success also matters. And Patrice deserves to be on this list. Also, I'd like to point out Mark Maron not on this list. How funny is that? God, he must just be furious.
It's hard to tell if he's the type of I guess he is the type of person that would make mad. But we're different. I think Mark Maron should be on this list, but that's my personal likes for comedians.
Yeah.
And also the amount of specials they came out with. This is my favorite comedian of all time. So is he at the top of my list? Sure, but I actually don't disagree with you. It also makes me feel better because since he's died, I've had a thing of the whole cult of personality of him. There's way too many comics that I don't believe them when they tell me how much they love him.
Yeah, they like the misogyny. They don't understand the like.
Oh,
that's
one aspect of it. You're right. Yeah, there's that. The other side is there's like super woke comics that also talk about how much they love him, and I'm like, either side, I cannot believe.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
No, yeah, absolutely. I on his death, he was a $3,000 weekend, but he couldn't come up because of those rape charges. I tried to get him up a few times before he passed.
Yeah, he talked about that. Yeah. Well, not about like you trying
me specifically. But anyways, all right, we'll pass the sad Patrice O'Neill.
Shout out, love him. Yeah.
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with it, but honestly, the touring numbers again. If you put her in the again, this is the vagina grading curve pushing her up a little higher because she deserves to be in the Jim Gaffigan sort of fluffy territory of things. Less special output, I'd say, but touring numbers, she probably does great touring numbers. She is very well respected. So, like, this doesn't feel crazy for Wanda Sykes, to be honest.
I love Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with this.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll move past the ones we're fine with. We don't have a lot to say about him. I feel like I went on a lot about the Netflix shit. So, Ricky Gervais, I mean, we all know that this is just absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I so back and forth because I love him, but not for
stand-up.
No.
It's
unless
just
you
not,
count Golden Globes as stand-up. But
it's not. Like, if you were a great stand-up and you also had the Golden Globes, I'd give you the points. But it's like stand-up. It's like saying Mick Foley's a great stand-up because I loved Hell of the Cell.
Yeah, or like this is kind of like putting Jordan in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. Or just the Gamblers Hall of Fame. How about that?
No, he might be eligible for that one.
Yeah.
From the stories you hear.
Yeah, he had his dad killed. Is there a I got my dad killed trophy?
Got him killed. Had him killed would insinuate that he wanted him dead.
No, yes. Was responsible for his death.
Correct.
Which is, you could tell by the yellowing of his eyes. Anyways, let's continue.
The sad yellowing, Yeah, I don't agree. I'm with you on that one.
Hedberg. Now, this is interesting because I'm almost inclined to want to go higher. I don't know how much of his body of work is into 2000s. But I'll say the impact has been felt through the annoying rip-offs of him forever. So I think that this is fair.
He's Patrice O'Neill on the other side of things. He's a cult figure. He loved for his jokes, but was never as famous as people make him sound now.
But I think I am okay with it being above Patrice because it's more stand-up based.
Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like we listened to him on O&A and loved him. It was... We watched Hedberg do stand-up.
Sure.
Also, Doug Stanhope not being on this list is insane.
Well,
How did it just occur to me that Stanhope's not on this?
But that's what I mean, is like, even the ones you agreed with, I like Ali Wong, but when I saw that name, I thought that's insane to be on the top 25, and it's because we forget about names, because this list, some of it is very based on the last 10 years, and not from 2000 to 2010.
Yeah, I will still say, but there also Dane Cook's not on this list.
There you go.
I mean, that's
because you don't like him.
Fucking insane.
Dane Cook is the Fred Durst of comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dane Cook, Jim Jeffries, I just had one. Who's the other one? Stanhope.
Yeah.
All three of them should be pushing somebody off this list.
Yeah.
So we'll push off Billy Connolly. We'll push off the British guy. I don't remember his name.
He's not on the list. But you don't have to push him off.
Well, I was adding him.
Off. Yeah.
But whatever. You got to add those three to the list. So Sarah Silverman can fuck off now.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
You think about it, it's no hurting. This is like inarguably, and it's again, he's not my favorite comic. My favorite comic is Patrice O'Neal, but every comic
in New York,
in New York and LA, even though they don't remember to say it enough, are in awe of Dave Attell.
And there's a particular thing about Dave Attell, and there's a thing of like that style of very joke derived comedy.
Yeah.
That they'll say Attell is the best seen doing 20 minutes at a Comedy Cellar, and I'll say that was because like sometimes when someone is jokes, it's a little easier to check out sometimes.
Yeah.
And so like an hour of Attell, sometimes I would push back. It was not that great, but then I'd say one of the best specials I've seen was Hot Cross Buns, because he figured out how to kind of break it up into 3 acts and keep you paying attention in different ways the entire way. So
and not only that, I don't think you would even make him mad by saying an hour of Attell is too much, because I saw him do several interviews on podcasts where he said he felt an hour is too much, which is why that is a 40-minute stand-up.
Yeah, and he does the kazoo for like a large portion of it. It's I mean,
but fucking rewatch that tonight.
Yeah,
it's a great special,
and it's great, and that's very intentional, because I do think he's a very self-aware guy. He probably gets that in this attention economy, especially.
Yeah.
Again, watching things live with other people in the room versus watching them home alone, it is going to be very hard for Attell to get people to watch all the way through if he's just doing jokes. He was very savvy to make that move, very smart move, and yes, respect alone, Dave Attell deserves to be in that spot.
Sure.
Sandler, I mean, cut back to Gervais.
Yeah.
This is just sort of ridiculous. Like, I would take him straight up off the list.
And
I liked that last special. It was cute. But it's like, it was cute because of the Chris Farley song and stuff,
So, something I'll say about this, just to let you in or whatever, is I was close to some comics even back in the day before that special, or when that special came out. And there's just a certain ilk of comedians, and I'm guessing it was who was behind this list, where Adam Sandler, even his old stand-up, was really great to them and important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people who end up, they make a list like this, is because they actually love, and I would say similarly.
I just thought that those albums and shit were before 2000.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to the person making this list.
He's still,
as long as one special released,
then he's gonna get the whole. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. But no, he get the fuck off the list. And I love Sandler. I'll still defend his movies and stuff.
Yeah.
He's not as bad as he's been made out to be in the last few years. But
this is insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. Nate, can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a little high because it's so recent, but...
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the argument would be that it's both commercial, and if you had to say what's one of the best specials of the last 10 years, I think Tennessee Kid has to be in there.
Yeah.
So I think that he's sort of like a Jim Gaffigan with a more classic special.
I guess that's arguable because I have to. I don't know if I saw Tennessee Kid. I'll have to watch it.
Unbelievable special. So good. Just so effortlessly clean. Anyways, and listen, this is almost unfair to Gaffigan and some people who stand-up, just like comedy wasn't as big at that time. Jim and Nate probably are very comparable, but people are just more inclined to go see stand-up comedy in the last 10 years. So he's going to get the advantage of being an arena act, where Jim would have been like a very big theater act.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I'll tell you if we're talking clean comics, and I'll keep scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite clean comic is not on this list, and I would say he blows both of them out of the water. But again, it's opinion-based.
Who's that?
Brian Regan.
Yeah. I think a little bit too much pre-2000 again.
Yeah, it might be true.
And I'll be honest, I've never been a big Regan guy.
Okay.
I think he just does too much. Everyone you meet is half retarded. Like, it's just a lot of, like, it's funny to me that
That's
it's
true.
clean, but really all he's doing is making everyone sound like a disabled person.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like,
I have no debate here.
and that was a thing in the 90s. So in Windsor last year, I was in town around Christmas time, coming up at around the same time, headlining the club there for the weekend while I went back for Christmas. And across town a few streets over, at the theater was Mitch Fattel. You remember Mitch Fattel?
Yeah, I do.
Fake retarded Mitch Fattel?
Yeah. I used to watch Just for Laughs with him a lot on that.
That was like a thing. Emo Phillips, Mitch Fattel, you could be... Back in stand-up, you used to be allowed to be fake retarded. That was like a thing that was like allowed. And Mitch Fattel had a career being fake retarded. And I imagine he's not still like retarded on the, you know what I mean? What a weird tour that must have been.
Yeah.
Where he's like, he comes out as not retarded for the first time. How many people in that audience must have been like, do the fucking, I paid for the retard thing.
I'm not gonna lie. If you talk about, like you were mentioning earlier, someone finding out wrestling is not real, finding out Emo Phillips wasn't fucking autistic was disheartening to me.
Yeah, no.
I had a moment.
And for some reason, Emo Phillips doesn't feel as dirty to me as Mitch Fattel. I don't know why, but
maybe because it's more over the top. Mitch Fattel is a realistic autistic kid.
Yeah. Whereas Emo Phillips feels like performance art.
Yeah. Who's the guy? He like directed a lot after Gold.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah.
I was actually going to bring him up as an example too because he dropped the thing, and people were upset about it. But then he just went on and had a nice career. But that wasn't like. That was like an eccentric character. That wasn't I'm disabled. Like it'd be like if a comic was like in a wheelchair and then just at some point you would just stop being in a wheelchair. Like it would be like if Jared Nathan finally admitted that he could talk fine.
People keep saying that to me and I don't know what to do with it.
I don't know if it's true.
I've heard it several times and I don't know if it's
and
true.
Here's the problem. I should know this because I met Jared Nathan well before he did comedy.
Yeah.
Because of touring with Mick Foley, not to bring up Mick Foley again. He came to see Mick Foley. I was opening for him, and we met then. But I don't remember if he had that or not then. So I can't pull the wool back. I think he's probably full. Like
I believe him.
Yeah,
I'm just going to choose to believe
maybe
him.
he's leaning in a little bit, but
sure,
whatever.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
You know.
Who isn't? All right, let's get back to the list here.
Sebastian.
Fully fair, not my cup of tea. We
But
got it. A lot of act outs. Very hippie.
Yes, but it doesn't matter because
I
have blue collar friends, and I remember this is years ago, but they came up to me there, and they would not stop talking about his special.
Yeah,
and that's when I realized I'm like, being in comedy can make you not like have your ear to the streets or whatever.
You usually don't understand that is happening that hard. Like Joe Coy just announced he's doing fucking Scotiabank Arena,
Yeah.
and I was like, Joe Coy got that big?
Yeah,
Sneaks up on you.
We also have a lot of Filipinos here.
Which is, by the way, I would like to say why I am postponing my dates at the Scotiabank because there's just I have a conflict. I have in my thing that I can't play an arena within 6 months of another bald comedian. So my dates are now a conflict and I'm going to be moving off those. Stay tuned for reschedulings. Let's get to the top 10 here and power through because I feel like I've kept you for a while.
Yeah, I think we're at an hour.
Ron Williams, absolutely batshit. Crazy. Just not post 2000s.
I got to give not even that, I got to give a shout out to one of my best friends in comedy, Ian Fergus. He's the one who said it first and I had to agree. I don't even like his stand-up.
Yeah, it's like, it's fine. It's enjoyable enough to watch, whatever, but Maria Bamford, I will argue all day and night. This is deserving. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is now listen. I think that you could put this in the Patrice. What was the other one that we said was similar to Patrice?
Mitch Hedberg.
I think there's a Mitch Hedberg, Maria Bamford, Patrice sort of grouping where it's like, yes, this hasn't hit commercially the same way, but there's this level of respect
If you're a comedy fan.
Yes. Yeah. And then, again, she's a girl, so you have to put one of them in the top 10.
Yeah, and give it to her. She's not dead.
Yep.
She has a cult following and yet not dead.
Yeah. Norm, and listen, it's you could probably, as big a Norm fan as anybody in the world, I will argue that this might be a little bit of a high placement stand-up wise. But however, I will push back with the ID joke, which will, in my mind, go down like just one of the best jokes.
Yeah.
So, and like, fuck it, I'm never going to argue to push him down any list further, so he's fine there. Kevin Hart.
I mean, sales-wise.
Honestly, I think Kevin Hart has a real argument, and this is some dork who doesn't like conventional things because Dane Cook being left off this list is criminal.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Hart being this low doesn't really make sense. Kevin Hart should be in the top 3. I don't watch Kevin Hart. I don't care for Kevin Hart. The man sells out football stadiums based on his stand-up. He is famous from his stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, this is just insanity that he's this far down the list. Whatever.
No, but either way, he's on the list for a reason. Even if people don't like him as an art.
He should be above Seinfeld, for sure. Seinfeld has not put out that much stand-up in the 2000s. Seinfeld should be a borderline top 10er in this list.
You know what? I just thought of this. Jerry Seinfeld just represents
stand-up comedy.
Yes. Yeah, like he's a spokesperson for it.
He's the Tony the Tiger, which he would fucking love, by the way. He kind of... I think, like, if there ever becomes a legitimate stand-up awards, it should be called, like, the Feldies or the Signies or something. And it should be, like, a little Jerry Seinfeld. He should be the literal mascot. Like, he would love... He loves advertising. Like, he's perfect for it. So, anyways. All right. Seinfeld, way lower. Burr, can't argue that he's a top fiver. So,
he's in my top 5. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, we got to kick somebody out of the top 5 for Kevin Hart here. And I don't think it's going to be Bill Burr.
No. So, let's find out who it is.
Probably going to be your next gentleman, John Mulaney. This is just an over nerd pick for Mulaney. He deserves to be top 10 again. Above Seinfeld, I think, even in the 2000s. But not that much higher than a Nate. Why is he that much better than bigger than Nate?
This one just is, but I think this is an important one because seeing him, there's always an item, a person on one of these lists that once I see them high, I go, oh, I know who did this list.
Yeah, fair enough.
And this is like okay, I get it. This list is not for me.
Yeah. Somebody with a tight sports jacket and a coke problem.
Yeah.
But he's still trying to pretend to be a dork. All right. The top 3, I've got a bit of an issue with. Louis. I mean, this is how good Louis C.K. is that you're not supposed to admit that Louis is awesome and he's still in the top 3.
That's true.
Like, Louis is so good at stand-up comedy that they've tried to erase him from history and they still have to put him in the top 3. It's fucking nuts.
This is how good he is I've had suggestions on my YouTube to watch a Louis bit, and then I realized it was connected to a special that I haven't watched yet, and I refuse to click on the bit so that I can watch the special
in its entirety.
Yeah.
I did that when Patrice died. I wouldn't listen to
Clips.
Mr. P for months because I didn't want to, and then they put out the other one, and I was like, same thing. I wouldn't listen to unreleased for months.
Yep.
Louis C.K. is the undisputed number 1 on this. I don't think that there's an argument that, I mean, Kevin Hart's sales, you could argue, but if you put the critical and the whatever together, Louis is undoubtedly the best. He's got the most classics in the 2000s. The reason I became a stand-up comedian is number 2, and I think let's get to number 2 because I think it's important context to it, and why Louis has to be above this person is because, one, Never Scared comes out in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But at this point, Louis is writing for Chris Rock. Chris Rock is number 2, sorry. Louis is writing for Chris Rock at this point. So you have to give Louis all the credit for all the Louis and some credit for the Chris Rock. So how can Chris Rock be above Louis when Louis deserves part of the credit for Chris Rock.
Yeah.
You just can't. Louis is, at least in the 2000s, been a better stand-up comedian than Chris Rock. And, Chris Rock's the only person I've ever fallen apart in front of. I mean, I have so much respect.
I love Chris Rock, so I just can't. I can't, because of how much I love him, I can't have an issue with it. Even if I agree with you, I like him better. The part I'll argue with, and this leads to the last person, is if you just talk cultural impact, Louis is up there in greatest comedians ever, and I became best friends with a guy in my life right now because we talked about Louis C.K. But I still have so many normal civilians, as some people hate comedians call them, in my life, and they haven't seen his specials or anything like that, but they've all seen Chris Rock's.
Fair. I still just don't think. I don't think when Chris Rock's last special came out, it wasn't the event that I thought it was going to be.
No. I did. Those same people I'm talking about, they didn't like.
Well, let's spoiler alert to number one.
Yeah, which Dave I think Chappelle. Is obvious. Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Sorry.
And I think, listen, you could make the argument maybe that I'm being a little biased towards Louis. If you make the argument that Chappelle's number one, I still think you have to make the argument Louis would be number two. I would have, in the 2000s, I'm sorry, Chris Rock, I would have Kevin Hart number three. I would have Dane Cook number four. And I'd have Chris Rock number five.
I just thought of something. I don't know why I didn't think of it when you had me look up this list. There's one person that is fucking actually pissed about this list. And I'll see if you get it. But this one is a cultural impact thing.
Okay.
Although his two first specials I loved, so I don't have a problem. I get it. He's not my number one, but I get it.
Oh, D'Elia?
No, Chappelle. That's what I'm talking about, Chappelle. But who is not on this list, who would read this and be pissed about it? And he got very famous this year for a podcast he was on. Cat.
Oh, yeah. Cat would be really upset about this list.
Yes.
And deservedly so. Cat definitely deserves to be on this list as well. Without a doubt. The quality of stand-up specials of Cat and the consistency and the touring numbers. Well, yeah, Cat deserves to be on this list.
This is my opinion. I'll agree with touring numbers and certain specials. I'm in the minority, I think he went more downhill where they're not bad, but he's had a bunch of okay specials.
You didn't like the full 11 minutes he did on Jacksonville in that last special? Could you imagine? He did. I remember watching the special and going, yo, how long has he talked about Jackson? And scrolling and going, he's talked about the city of Jacksonville for 11 minutes. Nobody knows anything about Jacksonville. But
that was such good timing.
I think with your iPad dead. So that would be my top five, personally, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't like Dane Cook or Kevin Hart. But I think you just got to be honest about, who had the impact on things. So, anyways, I was, of course, left off for some reason, but we'll fix that in the next 25 years. Thank you very much for tuning into Rob Loves Arguing. Good night.